It's a year since George Floyd's death shocked the world and turned the spotlight on policing in the United States and beyond. The 46-year-old African-American died after a white police officer, Darryl Chauvin, knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes. In the last of our series of special reports on the impact of his murder, Clive Myrie reports from St. Louis County in Missouri, which has the highest level of civilian deaths at the hands of the police. You might find some images disturbing.
What happens when communities are under siege?
For me to feel that even with my collar on, that I have to be armed, is pretty depressing.
Under siege from violence, the bitter harvest of decades of neglect and poverty. But under siege too, from those meant to defeat the violence. Bad cops, poisoning public opinion.
You see comments on Facebook and things of that nature of, you know, this is all police want to do is kill us.
But can things be turned around and public trust regained? In the St. Louis region, the worst area in America for civilian deaths at the hands of the police. Before George Floyd, there was Michael Brown in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson. In 2014, the 18-year-old was shot 6 times after an altercation with a police officer. He was unarmed. Hurt and angry, a community raged.
You must disperse immediately. This is no longer a peaceful protest.
Supercharging a depressingly familiar debate about U.S. policing. Meet Patrol Officer Brittany Richardson,
Frank 25, I'm around.
a 12-year veteran who helped battle the rioters. So this is the neighborhood where Michael Brown died?
Yeah, he has a memorial right there.
Pensive in the memory of danger. One habit brings comfort. You pray every day?
Yeah. I pray over my kids' room before I leave. Make sure that they are safe and they know that they're loved.
You worry that you just won't get home to them?
I might not.
All right, Greater Fairfax.
Elsewhere, in St. Louis County, the Reverend Darryl organizes volunteers to distribute masks in poor and sometimes dangerous neighborhoods.
I'll take the bad part on this side.
Be careful.
The man of God has a plan.
I tell people I wear a collar. I said I wear a collar, but I'm not stupid. The belief that God will do everything for us and we have to do nothing for ourselves, that's not faith. That's superstition. And that can get you killed.
And that's why you carry the gun.
And that's why I carry it, yeah.
It's the violence of parts of this area, born out of years of neglect and deprivation, that for the police requires a tough response.
Police have told us very openly that when they go into the black community, they're going to over-police because there's a fear.
But do you understand that?
Of course I do.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. But the police have got to take some responsibility for the lack of trust.
Trust, the precious commodity between the police and the policed, slowly being rebuilt in the years after Michael Brown's death. Chief Jason Armstrong has led the Ferguson Police Department for the last 2 years.
I cannot guarantee or promise you that there's not going to be a police shooting. What I can promise and what I can guarantee is that we're going to handle that problem, that mistake, the right way.
It is, however, a long journey to redemption, easily derailed, and the death of George Floyd has damaged attempts by police forces everywhere to repair links with the people they serve.
I think it set law enforcement back across this country. Sometimes things look bad on video. This one was bad, and for all the progress that we had made since Ferguson, It wiped it out like that.
Really?
Norvell was the first person I worked with that was shot and killed. He came back to his neighborhood to make a difference and was murdered.
There is a frustration that public confidence in the police can be smashed in an instant, despite some officers making the ultimate sacrifice.
And the most recent death?
Officer Tamaris Bohannon.
But studies show far more civilians are killed by the police than the other way round. As America marks the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death, can there be reconciliation? For Reverend Darryl Gray, that would mean acknowledging we're all human beings, whether or not we wear a badge.
When I saw the verdict and I watched it, and I saw the look on Chauvin's face, I saw a human being. If we despise hatred, let us not become it. If we despise bigotry, let us not become bigots. We cannot become what we despise.
Clive Myrie, BBC News, in St. Louis.